is up, YouTube? Two-Wheeled Logan here. How are y'all liking the new View? Rigged up a little front mount for the Variant this past week. Thought I'd give it a try today, and I was looking forward to a nice day of riding, and it is fucking bitterly cold. I don't know who said spring was here, but I do not believe them. I am currently freezing, but I do it for you guys because I like y'all, and because I have to run errands and I didn't feel like driving the car. So, this is only like the second time I've gotten to ride in like the past 4 weeks or so. If you don't follow me on Instagram or my Facebook page, which you should, you should. You can find me on both of them, Two-Wheeled Logan. I've been doing a little maintenance, getting the bike ready for the spring riding season. I went and I took the exhaust off and painted. There's no 7th gear anymore. I went and I took the exhaust off and painted the pipe black. I've been meaning to do that for a while now. The Two Brothers pipe is it's a chrome, like a chrome pipe, and it was starting to get some tarnish on it. It looked really bad, so got rid of that. God, it's windy. I hope y'all can hear me all right. But yeah, I went ahead and did that. I also changed both my front and rear sprockets. I went one down in the front and up 2 in the back, so I'm currently running a 14 tooth in the front and a 45 in the back, which is probably why it is so goddamn loud right now. This thing's running at like 8,000 RPMs, and it's also why my speedometer is way, way off. Hey, look, there's the Rocket. I don't know if I've ever actually kind of taken y'all around to see the Rocket before, so there it is. God, I hope y'all can hear me. Anyways, went ahead and did the sprocket change, and jury's still kind of out on whether I like it. Not a big fan of it when I'm on the highway like this, just because, you know, it's so loud and whatever, but drivability's been good, and I do like the little instant torque, and it it kind of like powered up the front wheel in first gear a little while ago when I was getting on the highway, so that was cool. Yeah, so I got those two done. I also put some Tech Spec tank grips on here. I've been wanting to get a set of those for a while, and I got lucky enough that my in-laws got me something for Christmas. So yeah, my legs are all stuck to the tank right now. So this little project is one of the more in-depth maintenance things I've ever done. Like most I've really done before is, you know, brake pads, oil, changed the front sprocket on my old 250 that one time when it ground all the way off, if you haven't seen that video. God, it's so loud. But I've never really gotten that far into it. You know, if you saw the pictures, I pretty much took the entire back end off of this bike, and I fixed a couple things. The previous owners didn't do a lot of good maintenance to this bike, so I had to fix some wires as well. But you know, it really taught me a lot going into it. I always enjoy doing this kind of stuff, and I thought I'd pass along my one big learning experience from this whole thing, and that is to always have the right tools. If you've done any kind of maintenance here on any kind of vehicle, you would probably run into the issue of not having the right tools or having inadequate tools. And I will say that over my time of, you know, kind of working on stuff and owning vehicles, I've amassed a small tool collection. This is a tight little turn right here. Drag knee, bro. Trying, bro. But I've amassed a little tool collection, and some of it nice and name brand tools, and some of it off-mark cheap stuff, because I am, well, I was a broke college student for a long time, so Harbor Freight is a good friend of mine, as well as Advance Auto and AutoZone tools. So I've learned a little bit about, you know, owning the right tools or owning good quality tools versus not good quality tools. Run in the mall here real quick, so I'll probably just cut off and we'll pick back up here after I'm done shopping, because I'm fucking cool like that. Awesome, bro. Really appreciated that. At least you used a fucking turn signal. So like I said, I've had some experience with a few different tools, and I figured I would impart some of my wisdom onto my fellow shade tree mechanics out there. First of which being, if you don't own an impact wrench, go out and buy one right now. I know they're expensive, but they will pay for themselves 100 times over. I had to break down and buy one whenever I was replacing the front sprocket on my 250. And, you know, if you haven't dealt with one of those yet, they're pretty much welded on by Satan's mushroom tip. And it takes any amount of strength you have to get that thing broken. And I've seen, there's a guy that does like motorcycle maintenance videos. I've seen him break one, you know, by himself, and I have no idea how he does it, because both me and my dad together were trying to get that front sprocket off that 250, and we could not get it off. And so we went and bought this electric Cobalt impact gun, and boy, knocked it off in like half a second. And since then, I use that thing for everything. I take the lug nuts off my car with it. Any stuff with the bike that requires, you know, breaking a pretty tough nut. I said breaking, not busting. I use that thing all the time. So go ahead and get you one of those, because you are going to use it. I also have a fantastic Harbor Freight torque wrench. And while typically I will say go ahead and get a name brand or higher quality tool, man, I got this thing for like $10 with a coupon from Harbor Freight, and it has been awesome. From what I can tell, from where I've matched it up, for how accurate it is, it's fairly accurate, and it works really well. Pretty sturdy little piece of equipment. So speaking of Harbor Freight, it's right there. I swear to God, I didn't plan that. Yeah, our Harbor Freight's in like an old fucking Honda building. But yeah, I've had that thing for a while, and I use it a ton, you know, making sure everything's torqued up to spec and whatnot. So yeah, that's another one of those tools where, you know, you can probably get one of the expensive ones. It's going to be fairly more accurate, or something like a digital readout, but man, the little Harbor Freight one works just fine. One thing with this whole project here that I will not recommend getting, the Harbor Freight chain breaker. I picked it up a while back because I had a coupon, of course, and I was like, oh, you know, I'll probably change my chain out eventually, and then little did I know I did. But it did very well for breaking the chain. I will give it that. Like, it did perfectly fine. They actually popped the rivets out just perfectly. But then I found some video where it was that person's got their hazards on and just kind of driving around. What the fuck? It did perfectly fine for breaking the chain. And then I saw online it was like, you know, you can use it to put a new rivet master link on, and so I did that. And it took me a bunch of tries and following the guy's video, but it worked. From what I can tell, you know, measuring everything out, it's all within specification. But I would recommend actually going out and buying a good quality chain breaker and rivet set. You know, you can get one of those whole big ones that's got the little blocks and stuff, and it'll, I guess, more evenly distribute the weight. Punching that new rivet style master link on, because I don't do the little clip. I don't trust it. Just based on my experience alone, I will say that I have not had a whole lot of big issues with using cheaper tools. You know, I just had my socket wrench break on me the other day that I bought for $15 at Advance Auto, and I've had that thing for years and finally just snapped it. And so I got a nice name brand one that probably lasts a little bit longer, but like I said, this one got me through, God, 4 years or so I've been using it. And so I won't say, you know, one's better than the other, obviously. Like your nicer name brand tools are probably got some kind of warranty, or will probably last a little bit longer than the cheap ones, but at the same time, it depends on how much you're using them. Like, if you're constantly working on something, I would say go ahead and get you some nice name brand tools. But if you're not, or if you're like me, or if you're strapped for cash like I am, or have been, you know, you're probably not going to have any big issues with the cheap stuff. Just be wary of what you're using it for. I wouldn't cheap out on something that could, you know, potentially really damage whatever you're working on, or break and hurt you or something like that, because, you know, Nobody wants that. But I guess the emphasis is to go ahead and, you know, get something that you know is going to work perfectly for what you're doing. Like if you're taking the front sprocket off a bike and you can't break it, you know, it's not worth it to keep buying like a piece of pipe and making your breaker bar all giant jacked up. Please don't come over on me. When you can put down the money for an impact wrench you're probably going to use a lot. But that's all the nuggets of wisdom I got for you guys today. If you have any, you know, stories of dealing with a cheap tool that's broken or an expensive tool that's broken, let me know, because I'd love to hear, you know, what your experiences have been between using a cheap tool or an expensive tool, or, you know, a tool that's not suited for something, and then how the results worked out. And also, you know, if you have any questions regarding anything that I've used before, let me know. I'll be happy to answer it. And let me know how you're like, what the fuck are those rims on that Charger? God. And let me know how you like the new View. I like it so far. Hopefully it holds together, and I'll do a little kind of close-up on the helmet and show you how it all works and whatnot. And in case anybody else with a Variant is willing to give it a shot. So, anyways, that's all for me, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.